Chapter 23. Wang face questioning. Such a big gesture, only those guys can do it. Kang Chon's eyes were icy cold, and he laughed coldly in his heart. He was very clear about what the third elder and the others had in mind. How could a small bar mitzvah of his provoke so much attention from the bigwigs of Heavy Iron City? All of this was obviously a deliberate setup by the third elder and the others. I'm afraid that it wasn't just to make him lose face. The person they were really targeting was still Grandpa. It's a pity that man's plans are not as good as heaven's plans. This time you guys are destined to be disappointed. Coldly laughing, Kang Chon walked towards the place where Grandpa was. His expression was calm. He didn't shy away from the attention of the crowd. His black cloak danced with the wind. Storing his clear face, he appeared handsome and extraordinary. On the square, with Kang Chon's arrival, it also caused a low murmur. Looking at him, he looks quite relaxed and at ease. Is it hard to think that this time his grandpa will still be able to protect him? Someone said suspiciously. I'm afraid he's broken. It's just like that anyway, someone said sarcastically. This time the entire Heavy Iron City's dignified big shots have all come. Even if he's driven out of his family, he's still considered famous. It's not likely that he's feeling smug in his heart. Someone scoffed. There were many voices similar to this in the square. Everyone was very puzzled by Kang Chon's relaxed expression at this moment, especially those Wang clan children who couldn't figure out how Kang Chon looked like he didn't care. And at this moment, the elders of the Wang family sitting on the stage, as well as those bigwigs of Heavy Iron City, all of them were unanimously sizing up Kang Chon. After all, this teenager was the protagonist today. Strange. City Lord Zhong Zhenan looked at Kang Chon's eyes as the essence flickered in his eyes. His heart couldn't help but wonder. Wasn't this kid rumored to have never been able to build his foundation, and had failed to build his foundation only a short while ago? How come he had now advanced to the peak of the 4th level of the foundation stage all of a sudden? And looking at the appearance of his thick true chi, it seemed as if he would be able to break through to the 5th level of the foundation stage realm anytime now. Zhong Zhenan was puzzled in his heart and couldn't help but look at Master Wind Edge, who was on the side, but Master Wind Edge smiled without saying anything. Kang Chon's cultivation would be concealed from cultivators at the foundation establishment stage realm, but it could not be concealed from Jiden's stage powerhouses that were one realm higher than him, which was why both Zhong Zhenan and Master Wind Edge were able to clearly detect Kang Chon's exact cultivation at this moment. Looks like we'll have a good show this time. Zhong Zhenan laughed darkly, his face unchanged, so that the onlookers could not tell the difference. On the square, as Kang Chon approached, the chatter also finally stopped. Kang Chon looked around and saw the third elder, Wang Chon, Wang Fei and the others, and on their faces, he saw mockery, sneers and gloating. Let's see how you guys can still laugh later. Kang Chon let out a cold laugh in his heart. Then he saluted towards his grandpa on the stage and said in a loud voice, Kang Chon has met the patriarch, and I have met all the seniors of Heavy Iron City. Kang Chon's face was respectful. His tone was resonant. He appeared calm and unhurried, without the slightest bit of stage fright, causing many people on the stage to secretly nod their heads, secretly saying that this son's temperament was extraordinary. But it was a pity that he was unable to build a foundation. Wang Tixiong, who was sitting high on the stage, also couldn't help but secretly breathe a sigh of relief. Kang Chon's performance didn't let him down. Even if he couldn't build the foundation, his grandson was still a man of the heavens and the earth. Wang Tixiong stood up and looked at Kang Chon kindly. Then his loud voice resounded throughout the square. Today is the bar mitzvah of my grandson. To be able to have the honor of inviting all of you to come and watch the ceremony, I, Mr. Wang, would like to thank you first. After saying that, he arched his hand towards the City Lord, Wind Edge Master and their seats. The crowd also arched their hands in return. Wang Tixiong finished gazing at Kang Chon, who was standing on a crane below. His aged features looked incredibly serious at this moment as he said in a deep voice, "Chona, after today, you will be a true man. In the future, no matter how hard the road will be, Grandpa hopes that you will be able to persevere. And that one day, Grandpa will be able to be proud of you." Kang Chon looked at Grandpa in front of him, tears turning in his eyes as he said excitedly, "Grandpa, don't worry. Chona won't let you down again." After Kang Chon finished speaking, his eyes firmly looked towards his maternal grandfather. His clear face was covered with a confident smile. Wang Tixiong nodded in relief. Not far away, Wang Fei secretly watched this scene with a sneer, thinking in his heart, "Let's see how you'll end up later, you wild seed. You're destined to become a joke today." Third Elder and Wang Chon were also sneering. Things had come to this point. They could totally sit high on the sidelines and watch the fun. When Kang Chon finished speaking, Wang Tixiong's majestic gaze swept across the field and gently droned, "Lift the dragon locking stone." Accompanied by Wang Tixiong's words, everyone in the square stopped talking, and in that passageway, 4 big men carried a dragon-shaped boulder slowly. The entirety of the boulder was dark golden in color and was divided into 2 parts. The top was a coiled 5-clawed golden dragon, while the bottom resembled a dragon pearl, and the whole was like a dragon playing with a dragon pearl. This was the dragon locking stone. Kang Chon gazed towards the dark golden dragon locking stone. He knew about the dragon locking stone. This stone was made of special material, especially hard. In the mortal world, it was an excellent material for the army to build armor and weapons. But in the face of a true Qi cultivator, this stone will be unbeatable. True Qi indestructible property can completely destroy the locked dragon stone. Over time, this dragon locking stone has become a test stone for the cultivation level of foundation stage cultivators. In addition, the locked dragon also symbolized the cultivator's foundation establishment stage realm, and only when one stepped into the foundation establishment stage would they be considered to have truly stepped into the hall of cultivators, and only then would they be considered to have emerged from the abyss and would be able to soar into the 9 heavens from then on. Rumble. The huge dragon locking stone was lowered, shaking the earth. Kang Chon's gaze was fixed as he walked forward. At this moment, the gazes of everyone in the entire arena converged on him. Although they had long known that Kang Chon had not built a foundation, they also wanted to see if Kang Chon had the courage to blast the dragon locking stone. On the high platform, Wang Tixiong was also staring nervously at Kang Chon in front of the dragon locking stone, constantly thinking in his heart, "Chona, quickly blast it." Although he had known that Kang Chon had failed to impact the foundation establishment only a short while ago, he still held a sliver of hope in his heart. In front of the dragon locking stone, Kang Chon turned around and scanned the entire field, his icy cold eyes taking in the expressions of everyone on the field. In that distance, Anti-King's worried, anxious and tense expression, Grandfather's worried and expectant expression, the Grand Elder's bland gaze, the Second Elder's silent disregard, Third Elder's cold smile, the mocking smiles of Father and Son Wang Chon and Wang Fei, the worry and nervousness of their loved ones, the sarcasm and ridicule of their enemies, were clearly reflected in Kang Chon's heart at this moment, so clearly visible. Kang Chon's eyes gradually turned ice cold. He violently raised his fist. His whole body's true Qi converged towards his fist, and suddenly a tiger's roar rushed out, and at the place of his fist, a piercing white light blossomed out, bringing with it a devastatingly majestic aura, and it blasted into the dragon locking stone in front of him. Do you all want to see my joke? Do you all think that I'm still the same trash who couldn't build a foundation? Kang Chon roared in his heart. The true Qi of his entire body surged out, and behind him, it was as if a domineering and incomparable white giant tiger leapt up, spreading its teeth and claws, revealing an astonishing aura. Boom! A thunderous sound rang out. The gazes of everyone in the arena converged, and the huge dragon locking stone let out a crisp ringing sound. Cracks crawling all over the body of the stone, followed by a piece of stone falling. At that moment, a sound of cool air was heard in the arena, and everyone revealed gazes of disbelief. The large square was silent at this moment. Everyone looked incredulously at the dragon-locking stone fragments that had spilled onto the ground, and one stunned expression could not be described in words. Those who were originally gloating, at this moment, were staring with wide eyes and open mouths, as if they couldn't believe what they were seeing in front of them. Kang Tian crushed the dragon-locking stone with a single punch, just like a dragon coming out of the sea. He proved himself with his strength. On the high platform, the faces of the third elder and Wang Chun became extremely brilliant. They had thought of many scenarios beforehand. But how could they not expect Kang Tian to actually shatter the dragon-locking stone? Those elders of the Wang clan were all dumbstruck one by one as well. The only ones in the arena whose faces didn't change were City Lord Yongzhenan, Master Feng Yuan, and Jin San Xiao, because they had already known Kang Tian's cultivation level beforehand. On the other hand, as Kang Tian's grandfather, Wang Tixiong, the patriarch of the Wang clan, was red-faced at the moment as he let out a loud laugh. Ha 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 ha. Good, good, good. Worthy of my grandson. This is really a daytime surprise. How Wang Tixiong didn't expect Kang Tian to succeed in building his foundation. But his heart at the moment has already been filled with excitement. He didn't think of that much. He only felt that this time he can snowball his former shame. No one dares to laugh at his grandson anymore. Third elder, Wang Chun's face was very ugly. Originally carefully arranged everything. But it became Kang Tian Yongwei. This can really lose a lady and lose a soldier. Kang Tian, 18 years old, foundation building success. Next to the dragon-locking stone, a middle-aged man registered Kang Tian's name. He looked deeply at Kang Tian, his eyes filled with shock. Just 3 months ago, he had stood in front of the Wang clan's Dragon Abyss and announced that Kang Tian had failed to impact the foundation establishment stage, his cultivation falling back down to the first level of the Qi practicing stage. But now, after only 3 months, Kang Tian had actually succeeded in building his foundation. Listening to the middle-aged man's words fall, the square that was already silent seemed even more silent. In 3 months' time, he had cultivated from the first level of the Qi practicing stage to the foundation establishment stage. This kind of speed, that is, Li Tianjiao, who was known as the first genius of the heavy iron city, could not catch up. Hiss. I don't know who sucked in a mouthful of cool air. Among the crowd, Li Tianjiao's face was unsightly as he looked at the sky in the square, his heart savouring an unpleasant taste. Beside him, Wang Ting's eyes flashed with a hint of a different colour, followed by a soft sigh. The many Wang family's children were also dumbstruck and in a trance. They seemed to have seen that 9 years ago, that supreme genius who had cultivated to the 9th level of the Qi practicing stage in just 1 year. 30 years east of the river, 30 years west of the river. It is better to deceive a white-bearded man than to deceive a poor young man. A group of Wang family's children lamented in their hearts, and those who had gloated earlier were even more worried that Kang Tian would hold a grudge against them in the future. Obviously, at this moment, Kang Tian had already regained the name of genius, and facing the genius Kang Tian, naturally it was not something they could offend. In the crowd, Wang Fei, who was preparing to watch Kang Tian's joke, was also stunned at this moment, his eyes staring blankly at the pieces of dragon-locking stone on the ground, his mouth murmuring, "How is this possible? Whew." Looking around, Kang Tian gently exhaled a breath, feeling those gazes around him that were different from earlier, but his heart was not the slightest bit joyful. The Wang family is only a fringe family in the cultivation world. Heavy Iron City is also just a corner of the Flood continent. My Kang Tian's path, this has just begun. How can a mere foundation establishment make me satisfied? I want to pursue a higher realm. Kang Chon's heart was very calm. Before the bar mitzvah was a mountain that pressed down on his heart. At this moment, after moving away this mountain, he realized that what lay in front of him was an endless road of cultivation. Come, all of you please. Congratulations to Clan Chief Wang. Harhud, on the high platform, Wang Tixiong was full of springtime complacency and was greeting the city lords and Wind Edge masters to the banquet. At this moment, he couldn't help but be a little thankful to the third elder father and son duo, making such a big scene and making his grandson famous in Heavy Iron City. The third elder's face was very ugly, as if he had swallowed a mouthful of soy sauce.